Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? I hope you all are doing great. Yes, your girl is back with another interesting video I know you are going to love. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting on a video titled 7 Lies About the Philippines. If you're from the Philippines, move closer. This sounds interesting. But before I proceed with this video, if you're watching me right now, you're new to my platform, you love my reaction videos, you want to see more from the Philippines, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you don't get to miss out each time I bring videos like this your doorstep. So without wasting much of your time, guys, let's watch this video because I really want to know these lies about the Philippines. Let's watch the video together, okay?
The channel here in the southern Philippines, and today we're going to be talking about the 7 lies that are told about the Philippines that I see online and that I've heard other people talk about.
Okay.
So let's jump right into the content. Number 1, that it's dangerous in the Philippines for foreigners. I heard this from so many people before I came to the Philippines the first time, worried about what was going to happen to me here. And you see a lot of stuff on the internet about it. And if you talk to people in the United States, in Western countries, for some reason, if they haven't been here, they have this perception that it's a dangerous place. But I've dispelled this myth many times in other videos that I've done. The Philippines is actually a very, very safe place for tourists to come and to visit, and for Westerners. I have been to the Philippines for years and years and years, and I have never really felt unsafe anywhere in the Philippines. Wow. I'm in a public park today in the middle of the 3rd biggest city in the Philippines, and I feel absolutely perfectly safe.
Wow, this one is a big lie. Oh, so the Philippines is not safe. It's not a safe place. Wow, that's a big lie.
The truth is, I'm much more likely to get violently attacked in my home country than I am here in the Philippines. It's just a matter of what the actual statistics are. Number 2 is that all of the Philippines is basically the same culture. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. In fact, the different parts of the Philippines that you go to, the culture is going to be a lot different. There are some similarities in all of it, but here where I'm at currently in Mindanao is a much different place than if I were to go up to the Visayas region in Cebu. It would be more similar to where I am in Mindanao than it would be to, say, Manila, but there are lots of differences. Some of the differences that I can just tell you between, for instance, Manila and Davao is the language. So here in Davao, the language that they use is pretty much Bisaya. Some Kanyo, which is a combination of English, Tagalog, and Bisaya mixed in. Whereas if I were to go and speak Bisaya up in the National Capital Region in Manila, most likely, unless somebody was actually from the Cebuano regions or from Mindanao, they probably would not understand me because they speak Tagalog and they speak English. They don't speak that as their mother tongue, and there are similarities between it, but they're not the same. Another thing is the food differentiations. The fruits and stuff in Mindanao and the seafoods here, generally I have found are much better than they are in other regions of the Philippines. And there's lots of other cultural differences, some of it because of language, some of it just because of different regions of the Philippines, different environments create a different culture. Much like the United States, where you have the South versus New England versus California, completely different cultures, even though we do share some similarities. Filipino women only date Americans and other Westerners because they want a green card or they want their money. And this is an absolute lie. I've been an immigration attorney for about 17 years, helping people, not just from the Philippines, but from other countries, immigrate through family-based immigration to the United States. And I've talked to hundreds of them and seen those relationships over time. And I can tell you from experience that that's just not true. The green card thing, yes, there are bad apples in every bunch. There are in the United States, there are in England, there are in Australia that are just simply dating men for their money. Same thing happens in the Philippines, but that is not the majority of them that are in these relationships. In fact, most Filipinas would rather live in the Philippines and be married to their Western husband than they would immigrate to that country. Really, it is a factor, money, in relationships anywhere you go in the world when women are dating men. So what they're really looking for is not to be rich or anything like that. They're wanting stability so that they can have a family. And it does help to have resources to have a family, but it's not the only factor that they're taking into account. Really what most of them want is someone, when they're looking at foreigners, is someone that they perceive who's not going to cheat on them, who is going to be stable as far as being able to provide for children, and someone that they can have a family with. And like I say, most of them would much rather stay here in the Philippines than they would travel to a foreign country. Filipinas are submissive and quiet, and that is a complete lie. I see that has been perpetrated all over the internet. I've seen it in videos.
Another lie.
And it's simply not true. As far as being quiet goes, younger ones, when they're first meeting alone, a Western male, yeah, they're going to be a little bit shy because of the language, and they're perceived that, you know, they're talking to a native English speaker. Sometimes that makes them shy. But you get them into a group, and I guarantee you that you're going to hear lots of loud talking as they're all having fun together and everything else. Definitely not quiet, and definitely not submissive.
It happens everywhere.
That is just, I don't know where that myth comes from, but I know hundreds of Filipinas, and I would not say they are submissive. In fact, the culture, although it tends to be a patriarchal culture, and at least in name and in word, in reality you would find, if you examine most of the homes, that it's really matriarchal in the Philippines, and that the women do a lot of the running of the actual household and in general the finances. One reason I think that this myth kind of persists out there is that it's not because of them being feminine, it's because of, in Asia, there is this culture that you don't get into screaming matches and yelling matches, especially in public where people can hear it. And so they tend to be more quiet. There's a phenomenon here called tampo, where they basically will stop talking to somebody, their partner, their mate, for a long period of time as sort of punishment, and also to sort of get their thoughts together so they don't explode and get all emotional. So I think that may be where it's coming from, but they can blow up and yell at you just as much as anybody else can. And they certainly have strong opinions, and their feelings can get hurt just as easily as women from anywhere else, and they can take retaliation just as much, if not better, than their Western counterparts.
Exactly.
It is super cheap for Westerners to live in the Philippines. You can live on like $500 a month. That is a complete lie, okay? You can live much more affordably in the Philippines than you can, say, in Western Europe, in the United States, in Australia. That is absolutely true. But if you come to the Philippines and you are trying to live a Western lifestyle in the Philippines, you're actually going to spend more money, more than likely, than you would back in your home country unless you assimilate. Exactly. So it is possible to exist for those crazy low figures that you see on some vlogs, but I wouldn't exactly call that living. If you adapt, if you live like a Filipino does here in the Philippines, certainly you can exist, you can survive on those low amounts of money. But I would say, as a single person, to have a life that you're going to enjoy, I would say $1,500 a month would be enough to cover that, have a good life in the Philippines, and have time to enjoy yourself. If you're single, to go dating. If you're married, to take your family on trips to different island hopping adventures, to go travel the rest of Asia. Then you could do that on those types of figures, and you could have a very good life. But it is more expensive than most people think when they first come here. And generally, after 1 month living in the Philippines, if they haven't spent any time on the ground, they find that they've spent a lot more money and are spending a lot more money than they had budgeted for and they had anticipated. Next to that, they do not speak English in the Philippines. I have no idea where this
What?
myth came from, but it is an absolute lie.
That's
I
a
was
big
living
lie.
back in Serbia last year, and during that period of time, there was an article that came out in one of these expatriate magazines or living abroad magazines, and they were talking about the different countries and the levels of English in it. And they ranked the Philippines in like the third tier of countries as far as the English language. I can only assume these people have never been to the Philippines, because it's very hard for me to go anywhere in the Philippines and not find somebody who speaks English. They are taught English in their primary schools here, in elementary school, middle school, high school, college. So growing up, it's part of the curriculum to learn it. It's one of the official languages, for goodness sakes. They watch American television and American movies and understand the English. So English is very widespread in the Philippines. Now, if you go out to the provinces and you meet people that maybe don't have as much education or did not study as much in school, you'll find people that have weaker English and some that, older ones that don't have it at all. But it is widespread. In fact, for a non-English speaking country as their first language, I would say I've never been to another country that even compares to the Philippines. Everybody in the Philippines speaks and communicates in Tagalog. Completely wrong. So if you are in the national capital region on Luzon, then yes, Tagalog is the mother tongue there. That's what everybody who's at least from that region is going to communicate with. But as you go out to the other major regions in the Philippines, you're going to find that in the Visaya region that you have Cebuano. In Mindanao, you're going to have a lot of Bisaya, which is very similar to Cebuano. And then there are other regions in the Philippines that have their own languages. In fact, there are lots of languages in the Philippines, and Tagalog is not even the #1 spoken language in the Philippines. It's like #2. There's actually more Bisaya or Cebuano speakers, I think, than there are Tagalog speakers as their native tongue. But Filipino Tagalog is the official language of the Philippines, and again, that is taught in their schools, whether they're in Mindanao or in their Visayas, but that doesn't mean that it's used to communicate in their daily lives. So here in Davao, where I'm at right now, I almost never hear people speaking in Tagalog with each other. If they're locals, it's usually done in Bisaya. Now, they understand Tagalog, it's just not what they speak at home, it's not what they speak in their daily lives.
Oh my God, that's a lot of lies. This video is just so funny, guys. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you're from the Philippines watching this video, let's have a conversation down there, okay? See you all on my next one. Wow, honestly, that's a big fat lies. People say a lot of things just to get people attention. You can imagine Philippines is not a safe place to be. Oh, that one is a big lie. Even though I haven't been in the Philippines, but this particular one is a lie for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this video. To me, this video is very interesting to watch, more especially if you're planning to go to the Philippines to spend your holiday this season and you're thinking or you're scared that the Philippines is not a safe place for you to be. This video is for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Anyway, if you're new to my platform, you love my reaction video, you want to see more from the Philippines, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you don't get to miss out each time I bring videos like this to your doorstep. Remember, guys, I love you all. Bye.